Good evening. Last week I was talking about chakras and the development of Muladhara chakra, how it starts developing even at the prenatal stage, the third trimester of pregnancy, with the power of Kundalini Shakti, and how it develops, what are the developmental defects, how the adult reacts if there is any deficiency in or defect of the development stages of stage of Muladhara chakra. Next chakra is known as Swadhishtana chakra. Swadhishtana chakra See, these are the 7 chakras, major chakras in adult life. But we are seeing the development stages of 7 chakras one by one. Last week I have completed Muladhara chakra. This week I am going to take up the development of Swadhisthana chakra, which is of the, you can see the orange color chakra. Muladhara chakra starts developing at the third trimester of pregnancy. From fertilization up to third trimester of pregnancy, the fetus grows. But only thing is when it just gets life, it is at the stage of third trimester of pregnancy. Then the fetus is delivered as an infant, and the growth of Muladhara chakra extends up to the level of up to 6 months. That is, for the development of root, 10 months required. So root is developed, it is extending between the Muladhara chakra as an invisible force connecting the Muladhara chakra to the mother earth. Now, Swadhisthana chakra develops at the age of 6 months, and it takes the development extends up to continues up to 12 to 18 months, up to 1.5 years. At this stage, you can see the child just turns itself, but head just is projected, but the rest of the body is grounded. The upper back is facing the universe. The front is on the front is resting on the ground. Muladhara chakra and Sahasrara chakra are not touching the ground, they are free. At this stage, it starts slowly crawling. When it crawls, it is on its four. Like an animal, it is on its four. Hand and leg rest on the ground. It starts crawling. Now, after some time, by about 9 months, 10 months, or 1 year, it starts standing up. It tries to stand up. Then it starts moving slowly and it tries to touch. That is, tactile sensation develops. See, movement is possible. In our body itself, there is a fluid system, 3 types. One is fluid in the form of blood. The other one is the lymph. Third one is the cerebrospinal fluid. All these are in the form of liquid, moving. Similarly, for the movement of the body, a fluid system is required that is called water element. Out of 5 elements, water element develops, that is because of this, the child is able to move, crawl or stand up. But the only thing is because the development of bones and muscles are not strong, it just stumbles. So it is trying to stand up with the help, with the support of the mother, father, or the other siblings. And when it starts moving, the mother supports. Mother actually holds the hand of the baby, makes the child to walk. It feels happy. That is the pleasure. Then each chakra is related to one endocrine gland. Last week itself I said Mooladhara chakra is related to adrenal gland, which is responsible for our life, for our very existence. Adrenal gland is required. Adrenal gland is absolutely essential. Similarly, Mooladhara chakra is essential for the very life, very existence in this world. Next is Swadhishtana chakra. See, plant actually, when the seed is sown, it develops root. It is towards the earth against the gravitational force. Plant seedling comes out, it starts growing against the gravitational force. That movement is possible because of the water element. Initially, it is static within the mother earth. Then, when a plant grows, it starts moving. The movement is possible because of the Swadhisthana chakra, and that is related to water element. The Mooladhara chakra is related to earth element. Water element is related to Swadhisthana chakra. Gland is, in case of female child, it is ovary, reproductive system. Main gland is the ovary, endocrine gland. In case of male, it is testis, that is the endocrine gland. So these glands are present, endocrine glands are present in the form of ovary. In case of female, in case of male, it is the form of testis. They are absolutely essential for procreation, next generation, for reproduction. Now, the child as it grows, though they are related, the Swadhisthana chakra is related to endocrine glands, testis, and ovary. They are not mature enough to produce the ovum or sperms. But Swadhisthana chakra is in the lower part of the body, that is in the inner aura, below the navel. Focal point is 4 inches below the navel. The chakra is in the inner aura. The organs that are present in addition to reproductive system in the lower part of the abdomen, terminal part of the small intestine, and large intestine. So these are working. Though the ovary and testes, they are not functional, they are not mature enough to produce the ovum or sperms, but the organs which are present in the pelvic cavity or in the lower abdomen, one is terminal part of the intestine. The moment the child is born, it evacuates the content of the large intestine. First one, it is called meconium. Similarly, the urinary tract, kidney, the tube is called ureter, then the bag is called urinary bladder, then it comes out through the urethra. These are actually dumped by the child. Even as the moment the child is born, all these are, that is organs, large intestine, evacuate its content, kidney starts functioning, the bladder, through the bladder or through urethra, the urine comes out. All these are done naturally by the child. That is, we call this, that is why we call this one nature's call. Nobody teaches. It is done automatically by nature. All these organs start functioning, except the reproductive organs. So this is called nature's call. Evacuation of the bladder, evacuation of the large intestine, these are called nature's call. Now you know why it is called nature's call. We use the term usually, these are nature's call. Now reproductive tract, the ovary is present, all these organs are present. Only thing is, the ovary actually doesn't have all the ova as we see in the adult, but only this external surface coat, that is in the form of epithelium. It goes on producing ovum within, and it just goes on filling up the ovary. Later classes I will tell you how ovary develops, how it starts maturing there. Now the cells ova are being produced at this stage. Ovum doesn't come out, it is just being produced, it is accumulating within the ovary itself. Similarly, testis also has got the cells which are called spermatogenic cells. They are germ cells, but they don't multiply to produce what are called sperms. Sperms are produced only at a later stage, but these are developing. Both in testis and ovary, cells are developing. They are not mature enough to produce the ova or the sperms. Now, Swadhishtana chakra, if you take the developing stage of Swadhishtana chakra, the child starts crawling, trying to stand up, that is movement. Movement done by, the movement is called locomotion. That is, with the help of legs which develop muscles, it is able to move the legs. It is able to crawl because of the muscles developing in the hands. So locomotion is possible. The movement is possible with the help of water element. Movement is done at the age of, by 5 months, 6 months, the child starts crawling and it starts trying to stand up on its own leg by the age of 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, or even 1 year. And when it starts moving, when it tries to stand up, whatever is accessible, it tries to touch. That is tactile sense. But only thing is, sometimes it doesn't know whether it is good or not, whether the child, whether it can touch or not. It just touches. Even some valuable materials also, if it is accessible to the child, it just falls. And you know what is happening to the child, you have what will be the reaction of the child. They will come to that matter. But only thing is, at that time, when it starts walking, that is locomotion, it is happy because it is being supported by the parents, either mother or the father. They hold the baby's hand and tries to make the child walk. Okay? Then it feels the support, it feels the pleasure. That is, pleasure is associated with the Swadhisthana chakra, materialistic pleasure. Materialistic pleasure. Then when it starts walking, it starts to touch all the objects. Then that is called exploring. That is tactile sense is developed. In addition to this, what is not given here, it tries to talk. If the mother can understand what the child is talking, but only thing is, other people cannot understand what the child is, because the child actually learns to talk only when the mother talks. So you have to go on talking to the child when it tries to talk. That is what we tell the child first. Afterwards, we go on repeating the words. What you tell, the child repeats. When the child starts talking, it doesn't learn from anybody else. It is learning only what the mother says, what the father says, or what the other relatives are there, whatever they say, it just hears, it repeats. So you have to be very, very careful when the child starts talking. If you use some unwanted words, the child repeats. It gets registered. When you say, this is your mother, this is your father, just repeat amma, akka, just like saying, it says, doesn't say anything else. What you say, it just repeats like a parrot. So you have to be very, very careful when you talk to the child. Now, what happens when the child talks, when the child walks, when the child reaches some other objects, etc. So, if when it tries to walk, the muscles are not fully developed. It's trying to grow, but it is just growing, not fully developed. Similarly, bones are weak. When the child starts walking, after a few steps, it just stumbles. At that time, it needs support. It just turns his head this side or that side, see whether anybody is coming to his rescue to make it walk or to take it in his hand, etc. Only thing is at that time, when the child stumbles, if it starts crying, if the mother doesn't care for that because she'll be too busy in the kitchen preparing for something for the children, for her husband to go to the office and all. Or she'll be too busy, so she doesn't bother to take the child in her hand, or she doesn't she just listens the child's crying, she just ignores. At that moment, the child feels it is being neglected. It wants full support. At that time, it needs support. If the child is not supported at that time, then it gets registered. It will speak, I am being neglected. It cannot talk, why you are not carrying me, why you are not coming to take me, all these things. The child cannot talk. But this emotion is permanently registered in the mind of the child that it feels it is being neglected. Similarly, rejection. Then see, the parents may be having 2 or 3 children already. This may be they will be probably expecting a fourth child being a boy or a girl. So if it is not that there, automatically the parents get vexed. Then they start hating the child. Hating not verbally, they simply ignore the child. What happens? The child actually, when it is not supported, when it is walking, the child feels the rejection. I am being rejected. That actually gets registered permanently in the child's name. But whether you can ask whether the child can feel, yes, it can feel all these emotions permanently are registered in the mind of the child, in the brain of the child. Afterwards, the whatever is registered now, it is manifested at a later stage in some other form. I'll come to that later. Physical abuse. Number of cases I can quote. Only thing is when the child actually touches some object, it just falls. It may be very precious, maybe costly. The child does not know whether it is costly or it is cheap or anything like that, but just touches, it falls. Immediately the mother just beats the child. The child does not know why the mother is beating, but only thing is, it just the agony is registered permanently in the mind of the child. Another example is secondly, that is the mother and father just quarrel. Sometimes the father abuses the mother physically or verbally. The child loves the mother because the child actually is being brought into this world by the mother. She hugs the baby, she feeds the baby. So the mother and mother-child love is permanent. But when the mother is being abused verbally or physically, the child feels it. It is helpless. The child crawls and then tries to the mother or try to hold the mother. Then only thing is, father not only beats the um, wife, he also just beats the child. But physical abuse will be there, verbal abuse will be there. The child bears all these things. But only thing is, this is permanently registered in the mind of the child at this age. The abuse. Then when it talks, the persons who are sitting around the child, when the child starts talking, they just laugh at the child. The child's prattling. தமிழ்ல குழந்தையும் தெய்வமும் கொண்டாடும் இடத்துல இல்லையா தமிழ்ல ஒன்று இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி when the child starts talking, it's called prattling. The child actually is not, the mother actually enjoys, only thing is the other people are just laughing. The child feels ashamed. Then it stops almost, it doesn't want to talk. In this, in this atmosphere at home, if the child doesn't want, when it's sleeping, if unhealthy noise is coming, the child is not able to sleep. All this atmosphere actually will be permanently registered in the brain of the child. Mind and brain, they coordinate whatever it feels in the form of emotion gets permanently registered in the mind. So all these things will be manifested. Whatever is registered in the form of emotion will be manifested at a later stage in the adulthood. So the child goes to school, he, because of the self negligence at home, rejection at home, he feels he is alone. He doesn't want to mingle with others. Or the other way about, he just goes on hitting others. He just starts calling whatever is registered in the form of hatred. It comes out. He is being neglected. When he goes to school, he just feels the opposite. He just wants to say, I am better. I can, I will start calling. I am not the person who is neglected. Then he starts abusing the other children. The same thing will happen when he becomes adult. He doesn't mingle. He is not bothered about the emotions of the colleagues at all. If he is a boss, he just closes his eyes for all the other people's energy, and he is very, very, very rigid. He just very strict. He doesn't bother about other people's emotions. He doesn't sometimes even curses other people. Then sometimes if the child gets abused or is ridiculed when the child when it starts talking, the child feels shame. She is ashamed of talking. The same thing will happen when he becomes adult. He doesn't want to talk, he doesn't want to socialize, he becomes an introvert. So, or he becomes so authoritative, both the extremes can happen. He becomes so authoritative, he starts terrorizing other people. He wants to boss over other people. All these things can happen. That is, cannot enjoy the life, pleasure of life. He cannot just mingle with others. When he goes to water, he goes alone. Even after marriage, he doesn't want to. It shows his rigidity towards his wife. He just what, see, when a child grows, if the child is a male, the father is the hero for the child. So whatever the father does, he gets registered. It just same way he starts reacting when he becomes adult. So when the father is very abusive, then the child also learns this. So he becomes very rigid. He starts abusing all the other people. The and he does not know how to enjoy the pleasure of life. That is, when he gets married, he must love his wife, he must love the children. All these things are totally denied to the wife and the children. The pleasure of life, materialistic pleasure of life is totally denied. He just isolates him. He also does not enjoy life. This is the reaction shown by the adult. Because while crawling or walking, he is not fully supported, the muscular system just becomes weak. So even when he is becoming adult, muscles shows the show pain. When he walks, he will be painfully. He cannot support himself. He becomes so totally weak. The suppressed emotion. This is what emotion. Remember, actually. See, suppressed emotion. Supposing the child becomes very rigid. It cannot talk to the other people. Then what happens? He lacks friends. Even when he becomes adult, he lacks friends. Because of rigidity, nobody will come and talk to him. That fellow is useless fellow. He will not talk. He will not happy in company indoor. He is isolated. So this actually because of lack of pleasure or because of lack of friends, whatever he feels, he gets suppressed. He is not able to release what cannot talk what he feels because of isolation. Then what happens? The rigidity actually shows the rigidity in the organs in the lower part of the abdomen. What happens? The organs which are supposed to move to evacuate the fecal content of the large intestine, it becomes rigid. The mind, when becomes rigid, physical organs will show the rigidity. Especially in Swadhishtana chakra is related to the organ in the lower part of the abdomen. I already shown the picture of the large intestine. So this actually happens. Large intestine refuses just the peristaltic movement. That movement is called peristaltic movement. That is actually doesn't happen. So the child, the adult may be feeling constipation. Or the other evening, often he gets diarrhea. And he suffers from um, the suppressed emotion, may lead to even cancer. Extreme one is cancer. If he goes on, he doesn't want to share whatever he has got in his mind. The accumulated emotional energy actually is shown in the large intestine. And the other one is urinary bladder. Urinary bladder also, that is urinary bladder. Kidney and urinary bladder. They show some reaction. That is kidney nephritis, inflammation of the kidney, or kidney failure. So many things may happen. So uh, it actually, I will tell you, give you an example. Some children when they grow, I mean at this age, 45 months, up to 18 months, what happens? The mother, because she is too tired. Nowadays, most of the ladies, they go to the office. When they come home, they get tired. They're not able to spend much time with the child. What happens? She wants to have a nice sleep without any disturbance. If the child is at this age, that is 1 year, 1.5 years, etc. At this age, it just, I already told you, nature's call. It cannot walk, so it cannot go to restroom by itself. So what happens? Nature's call, it just evacuates its content, urinary bladder, or large intestine. It just soils the bed. Then mother gets irritated. But only thing is, to avoid this one, what happens? Mother applies diaphragm. That is the worst thing a mother can think of. If the diaphragm is applied throughout night, it is for the child just go on urinating. Then what happens? It accumulates. The irritation will be there. It just produces sort of irritation, inflammation of the not only the terminal part of the urinary bladder or the urethra, bladder or urethra. It may actually infect the area around this one, around the um, outer open private parts. So that all this infection is likely to happen. But only thing is avoid using diaper unless it is absolute. If you take a long journey, you can use the diaper. Otherwise, at home, you don't use diaper because diaper the child starts using. Even when the child goes to school, the same thing will happen. The child wants to have the diaper so that he will not go to the toilet often, the restroom often. So only thing is, if this continues actually even after even after becoming even at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, there is urinary incontinence develops, what happens? Bedwetting is there. So many children have come with the parents. They say the child got the complaint of bedwetting. All this because the child is not given toilet practice. At the age of 10, when the child starts walking, the child has to be taken to the toilet. It must be allowed to evacuate the contents of the bladder or the terminal part of the intestine. It must be able to evacuate the feces. All these things should be given enough practice at this age, at 1.5 years. If that is denied, automatically the adult feels ashamed and he just tries to control all these things. Once he controls emotional control, the physical control, all this may end in cancer only. So many people I have seen suffering from constipation. Just even IBS is likely to happen because of control of emotions or agony at the age of 1 year, 1.5 years in this Swadhishtana starts with. These are all the things that is likely to happen. Materialistic pleasure is denied when he becomes adult. You know what are all materialistic pleasure we can enjoy when you and I can enjoy when we become adult. But that is totally denied because of the rigidity, the feeling of shame. He becomes an introvert also. So he tries to boss over. So many things are likely to happen. So you have to be careful when the child is at the age of 6 months, 12 months, when the Swadhisthana grows. When Swadhisthana growth is totally dependent on Mooladhara chakra. If the Mooladhara chakra doesn't develop properly, that is Mooladhara chakra actually serves as a root terrace. The root is not strong, actually not automatically the growth will not be strong. Next next to Mooladhara chakra is Swadhisthana chakra. If the Mooladhara chakra is very weak, automatically Swadhisthana chakra becomes weak. Swadhisthana chakra and Mooladhara chakra, they are not independent. Though the time of development is different, Mooladhara chakra starts developing in the prenatal stage, that is at the third trimester of pregnancy. It just continues up to the age of 6 months. This is the time when the root becomes stronger. Invisible force extending between the Mooladhara chakra and the Mother Earth. If that is lacking, automatically Swadhisthana chakra growth will be impeded, interfere. So, actually, Swadhisthana chakra's growth and Mooladhara chakra's growth are totally interdependent. This you have to understand. So, this picture actually shows what to expect to the child or what are the emotional disturbance that is occurring at the stage when the child is developing Swadhisthana chakra and what is manifested, what are the emotional aspects manifested when he becomes an adult. So just see this picture. The red color bud flower is the Mooladhara chakra. Swadhisthana chakra, when the child is delivered, it is in the form of a bud. Only when it starts growing to this, when it develops, when it just reaches the age of 6, 7 months, etc., then the bud becomes flower. The flowering stage of Swadhisthana chakra is actually starts from 6 months. It extends up to 18 months or even go up to 20. Only thing is, the mother's role is very, very, very important at this stage because you are giving birth to child, you must know how to take care of the child. If the child is not taken care of when it grows, naturally you will not have a child which is disciplined. The only thing is now you can just see what is likely to happen in the Swadhishtana chakra dialogues. When the mother talks, the child repeats. This is what exactly we have been telling. When you are pregnant, especially at the third trimester of pregnancy, when the child can hear, just listen to good music. If the mother is a musician, naturally when it starts talking, instead of talking, it starts singing. It can even identify ragas, etc. And sometimes some of the children, now we come across so many videos, children, child prodigy. Child starts repeating the Tirukural, child can say all the um, nations, you can identify all the nations in the globe. All these things are likely to happen. But only thing is, the mother must talk, the siblings must talk, parents must talk. They must actually, if they go on talking to the child, only thing is child prodigies are there. Naturally. Only thing is, when you talk to the child, don't ever use abusive words. All abusive words will be registered. It just starts same language when even when he starts talking, even at the age of 2, or even when he becomes adult, then he starts using all abusive words. So talk only good words. Only thing is, if you are interested in promoting the um, children's ability, use it at this age. One author actually said it took nearly 2 years for me to teach alphabets to my child, to one person. It took nearly 2 years for me to teach alphabets to one person. The other person asked, what does he eat? Then he said, 2 years. I will tell you one example, even if it is one, it's my own at, at my own expense. When I was just cooking in the kitchen, my child was holding my sari. He was just standing by my sari. So my sari, he was standing by my side. I was just teaching him in the English ones, Tamil ones. Well, so one, he could repeat. One day he started repeating whatever I said. January, February, when he came to November, just said some other name. Then I said, I got irritated. Then what I am telling, I was not doing when the child was there. I instead of just saying after number, instead of just repeating using the word, I mean saying the word December, he said something else. You know what I did? Sunny in a December, I didn't know. You know what he did? He said, Sunny in a December. That is what exactly I am telling. Never use any abusive word and the child listens. He just repeats. He's like a parrot. He is learning from the mother, father, the other people in the house. So talk only good things. You can promote something. You want the child, don't force anything, but only thing is, if he has got the capacity to learn something, promote it. The child prodigies are there. You have come across, we have come across number of things. So this is what my advice is for the parents, teachers, and also to the society. Society plays a very good role. When some relatives come to the house, the child starts talking. They just instead of just enjoying that word, they just laugh at the child. Then automatically he feels ashamed of talking. He doesn't like the um, person who just laughs at him. Then he just hates the relative. So the hatred also is playing a crucial role when the child develops, which is at the age of Swadhishtana chakra development. Have all these things in your mind. You are based to be, parents, teachers, and also to the society. But only thing is, I don't give advice unless it is asked. Okay? Thank you very much. Any question you have got, you can ask me. எனக்கு ஒரு வீடியோ எல்லாம் வீடியோ மோட் வந்துச்சுன்னா டேக் அ பிக்சர். One more picture I like.
Ma'am, I can relate. எனக்கு நான் அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தனால my daughter's அந்த Swadhishtana chakra is affected. She's an introvert. So I can relate to what you talk and know this.
Yes.
அதான் நான் அந்த pregnancy both பண்ணின mistakes எல்லாம் I can see in my daughter. What you say is right. Like my daughter is an introvert. பேசுறது கேக்குறதா? கேக்குறது.
Yes.
Like நீங்க சொல்றதெல்லாம் எனக்கு புரியுது. It is like happened in my life. Like அது Swadhishtana affect ஆயிருக்கு. My daughter is an introvert and I can see all those. I can relate to like what you're talking. It is
thank you.
My case.
I think what you're saying is very true, because it's not just one family. Many families have experienced that. You know, they don't do the right things when when they're pregnant, or when the child is born, a newborn child, up to 1 year, 2 years. They have abusive parents. They have all kinds of issues, and you do see the result. You see that they are, you know, manifested in so many different ways, which are so harmful to them. So what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and it is, you know, for the mother, the family, to make sure that even while pregnant, you do the right things, and after the child is born, you do the right things. So thank you. It is so great what you're doing.
Welcome.
Yes. One more question. Is it possible to have this recording sent to us by any chance?
See, one thing, you know, if I record and send it immediately, next week onwards, nobody will come.
True.
So what I will do, I'll finish 7 weeks. Afterwards, if possible, I'll try to send it. I'll just send it in YouTube. Okay?
Okay. Yes. Thanks.
It looks like a mother should not work after delivering a child and should be with the child only.
Pardon?
From whatever you said, it is better if the mother stays with the child after she has delivered the child.
Yes.
Is it always
absolutely
possible?
Essential.
For how long?
Maybe 2 years. Now, by 2.5 years, you send the child to the play school.
Okay.
Okay. Up to at least 2 years, 3 years. See, when we were young, we were admitted in school only when we reached the age of 5. Until then, we enjoyed home. We have enjoyed the proximity of our parents. But, even now, in one country, I don't remember, they admit the children only at the age of 5.
No, but sometimes it's not possible, you know, to have the child and leave the job. But if you have a good support
that is why nowadays government itself is giving 9 months leave, 1 month, 1 year leave, etc. for the after delivery.
Yeah, but when I was working, there was nothing like that.
No, I didn't have any leave like that. Only 2 months, 3 months, then I had to depend on my cook. Only thing is, what I did you should not repeat. That is why, as an adult, I am telling. As a senior citizen, I am just telling because I have experienced all these things. after learning Reiki, after learning something about chakras, etc., I know what is likely to happen in the mind of child when the proximity of the parents not there. That is why I'm telling you.
Okay.
Otherwise, I am like a teacher. I can just say fertilization of sugars. Then you become just biology. Being taught medical college also teaches physiology, anatomy, and all the other subjects. Only thing is now what I am trying to do is after learning Reiki, I know what is our science. Our forefathers knew all these things. They knew about the existence of aura, existence of the physical body, existence of the chakras, which are outside the physical body, how they play a crucial role in all these emotions. I'll show you a picture now. How our forefathers knew the existence of the aura. Not only that, how our side, how about the fertilization up to the stage of delivery in within uterus.
Isn't the quality of time you spend with your child is more important than being all the time around?
Quality is important. Love is universal. Love is very, very, very important. Without love, the child cannot exist.
Yes. Thank you.
See this picture? That
Yeah.
is ovum, sperm, and then the growth of the fetus within the uterus of the mother. All these things are there in pillars of temple, which is called Varamuteshwara temple in Aryadri. It is more than 1,000 years old. That is our forefathers knew science, but only thing is after Britishers invasion, we start relying on modern science. Modern science has actually brainwashed us. We actually believe what the white skin fail. I mean, Britishers say, medical school teachers, but we just don't believe what our forefathers had already said. Now I am trying to connect what our forefathers had told in the form of science and the modern science. Modern science know the existence of the physical body and the internal organs. But where the mind is, where the life is, where the sixth sense is, they do not know. So the sixth sense, mind and life, all these things exist in the biomagnetic field or auric field, and we don't breathe through the nose alone, we breathe through the chakras. Chakras are energy centers, and all of them are capable of movement. We are breathing through the chakras. Chakras, once we breathe through the chakras, modern science plays a crucial role. We know about the body. I'm connecting the modern science with the ancient science of ours. Then when I was presenting some papers in some other organization, they used to ask me, where is the proof? How can you prove scientifically? I said, what is your science? What you see is your science. What we actually feel our science. So if you know, if you can close your eyes and through the third eye by sadhana, you can actually see the presence of aura. You can actually feel the presence of aura. You can feel the presence of chakras. You can breathe through the chakras. That is our science. That is that we don't have to prove it by using machines. They rely on machines. We rely on our own third eye. Okay. Anything else? Thank you very much for listening.
Well,
The same
someone has
thing.
asked in chat box whether it is possible to do like course correction after the child is born.
Pardon?
குழந்தை பிறந்த அப்புறம்
Yes.
அது லைக் இந்த மாதிரி லைக் இஃப் இட் இஸ் அஃபெக்டட் அப்படின்னு தெரிஞ்சா அதுக்கப்புறமா அது கோர்ஸ் கரெக்ஷன் பண்ண முடியுமா அப்படின்ட்டு.
That is what exactly I told last week. When the child is born with some defect, then go to the history. Ask the mother what are the things that have happened when she was carrying the baby, carrying the fetus during pregnancy. Any emotional disturbance will definitely manifested in the growth of the fetus after birth. So treat the mother, treat the child. Mother has to be treated. It can be, the defect also can be treated after the child is born.
How long, madam?
Depends the age at which, see, when the child is starts walking, and it stumbles, it is not able to walk even at the age of 1 year, definitely you can recognize there is some defect. When the child doesn't talk even at the age of 1.5 years, then the other people, the grandparents who are there, they will simply say, in our generation, in our family, children used to talk only at the age of 2.5, 3 years. Don't take the child to any doctors. See, that is the wrong advice given. The mother can easily advise the defect of the child the moment it is born. So it starts crying. Some problem is there. Then she has to hug the baby and then caress the baby with full love. That actually will bring about some sort of, it will correct the problem. But only thing is, at the age of 1.5, if the child is not able to talk, mother can easily identify. Then say when there is a music, or when somebody is talking on the house, when the child turns its head and starts listening, the child doesn't respond to the sound. When the mother calls the baby, the child doesn't respond, immediately she can recognize the defect. At that time itself, if the child is taken to healer, definitely it can be cured. In the curing, actually healing can be done for the mother and the child. So when the child cannot hear, mother can easily recognize, not allowing the child to grow up to the 3 years, 4 years. As the age advances, there will be delay in healing. It may take longer period. But at the age of 1.5, 2, miracles do happen. I got evidence. When the child actually was brought to me at the age of maybe 4, he had not gone to school, maybe 5 years. He has not gone to school. He didn't learn any. He was not tutored by the mother. He was just dumb and deaf. He was brought. I was a consultant at the hospital at that time. He just came to my room. You know what happened? The moment he came, he just put his head on my lap, as if I was his grandmother or something. I was simply surprised. Mother was sitting just opposite to me. The child just came to me. He put his head on my lap. Then I started healing the child after listening to the mother. She was abused verbally, physically. Then I treated her and she learned Reiki also. But this child, I started healing the child. You know, the child does not learn alphabets. That child actually, at 2 or 3 sittings, with sign language, he asked the mother to give the pen. Mother actually, she actually supported the child hand. He started talking. I got the message also from the child. He started writing. He said, he has not gone to school. I am repeating the same statement. He said, take me to Dr. Lalitha. He said, he wrote it in English. And then the mother asked, she just wrote, said, why you are not talking? like this. It is because of karma. You and I cannot say anything about karma. The child wrote, it is because of karma. Then I said, this child has got lot of potential. His brain is very active. Just take the child as if you are just take the child and introduce him. Though he cannot talk, just go on talking to the tourist as a tourist guide. Just take him to several places. Then ask him to write whatever he is seeing. He wrote all these things. One day, he said, his mother asked to write about the body, brain. He said, see, in anatomy, the fellows used to fail. They could not write the different parts of the brain. I myself have given failure marks to so many students. But that fellow said, diencephalon, opnocephalon, etc. Brain, different parts of the then brain. It has got so many these parts. All the parts are cerebellum, medulla oblongata, pons, all these things. Yes, written. That fellow had not learnt alphabets. Good English. If you want, I can show the message also next week. Okay, next Wednesday or next Saturday when we meet. Then when we used to regularly meet once in a year, we used to celebrate World Reiki Day. This fellow one day he wrote in a paper saying that he had seen Mikausi. How many of you know heard of name Mikausi? I saw Dr. Mikausi take good care of me. Then these are things. Then when he had seen Mikausi, I have not seen Mikausi. He said he had seen Mikausi. He has blessed. When deliberate today, I called the mother. He has seen Mikausi. Ask him to give some message to this World Record Day. 3 years consecutively he has written. I got the record of all these things. It can be miracles do happen. I myself cannot explain these things. Only thing is parents' role is very, very important. They have to identify the child is deaf. Automatically the child becomes dumb. If at the age of 1, 2, 3, 4 years, if the child is brought, definitely healing can take place. Okay, thank you. We'll meet next Saturday.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, madam, for such an informative talk.
Okay. If you have got any other question, you can just send your question in WhatsApp. You know my number. You just ask the question, then I'll answer. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Okay,
Thank you,
welcome,
madam.
welcome.
Thank you,
God
madam.
bless you all.
Thank you, madam.